Hello and welcome. Today we've got Sonya and Nagy, and we will be discussing internal conversations. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Telegram channel and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview if we decide to choose our words wisely. And of course, because of the censorship that's going on, is absolutely insane. Sonya, thank you for joining me. And how are you? And where do we begin with internal conversations? What is it that you would like to, let the viewers know? What's the importance about this?
Yeah. So today we're living in this information warfare, and it's difficult if you're not connected to that internal conversation, the conversation of the heart, the soul, your purpose of being here on the planet. It's easy to get distracted. So this is the value of that internal conversation, is that Charlie Ward calls it the moral compass, right? It's that part of us that keeps us on our right track, headed to our North Star, if you will. So each of us has an innate system built to take us there. And it's through that inward conversation into the heart. And, as one of my clients, one of our followers, she met me through you, Nick. So thank you for allowing us to connect in that way. But that journey from the head to the heart, and how do we do that? And what is that? And to tune into the physical body. And I know I've shared this before on your shows, but only the mind lies. And with all of this information coming at us, it can be difficult to have that discernment. And our body knows truth. Our heart knows truth. And the heart could be cloudy because of experiences, especially with, the injections that are going on and family members potentially going there. It's difficult to not let the heavy heart cloud that vision, cloud that conversation for you. So the value is to keep you on course, is that internal conversation, and to go into the heart and get rooted in your connection, your purpose of being here on the planet. And thank you, Nick, for doing you and bringing yourself into purpose and bringing the conversation to so many in such a diverse way with all of the different guests that you have on your show. Thank you for having me on your show and allowing this perspective to reach into the audience.
You are very, very welcome. Honestly, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor. So many people want to know, how do we get in touch with our intuition and build that relationship with ourselves, to listen to, what's wrong and right, and the little voices in our heads or in our souls, or, how do we get closer to that? What do we need to do?
So, okay, great conversation there. So first of all, the calcification of the pineal gland, I think, is way over dramatized than the truth of it. So I work with a lot of people, helping them to develop their intuition. And we all experience intuition in our own unique way. And there are a variety of ways and multiple ways that we could be experiencing our intuition. The gut feeling is very common. There's the knowingness, there's thought packets that drop in. And really the key to first is to find your own alignment, which is very simple in our nature. We all have this in common, just going into your heart center, and anything that you love, even if it's ice cream or a kitten or a baby, the purer, the better as far as that love goes. That will help you go into heart center, and then connect with the earth and what you appreciate about the earth, and just the fact that the earth has always been there for you. So that helps you get your heart earth connection. And then from there, connecting into your soul, your heart of heaven, whatever your spirituality is for you. Just so feeling into your own alignment is the first key. And just to bring yourself into that, and it's a withdrawing of the senses and going inward with those senses. So those senses don't shut down, they go inward versus out. And the perception goes there. So as you go there, then the seat of perception, the seat of the third eye, the intuition is in the third eye here, center of the eyebrows, actually center of the brain, the pineal gland. Sits next to the pituitary gland in the body. Very interesting, because pituitary is the master gland in the body that controls all the other glands or sends the signals to all the other glands. So this awakening is really by giving it observation, going inward in that internal attention. And many times people are looking outward with their third eye, trying to find information. And it's really go inward is where your own system resides, right? Yes, we can look out into information and perceive that. But if we're not in alignment and we don't have permission for those that we're looking at to perceive information on, we could be getting distorted information. So our alignment is primary into receiving our intuition in a way that is serving of ourselves and serving of the world. And then if we're going to do intuitive work with another, permission is required to have a clear line of communication. Otherwise, there's all of the field information, which generally intuitively you can pick up field information. We can pick up that collective information in intuition. And again, if we're not holding our own alignment, we may be picking up a distortion there.
Right.
So I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. So let's say one is wanting to meditate, lie down, listen to some meditation music. How, in layman's terms, how would you describe them to behave or think or act, or, in order for them to have that experience, that inner intuition experience, or the pineal gland, or that higher self knowing? What is it exactly they need to be thinking about, and how is it done, and how long can it take?
So it can be in an instant. Meditation it's a state of being. So it's a state of awareness. It's not an action. Just to
Right.
take that out. So you can be in a meditative state while you're driving. So for example, when you get in the car and you're driving somewhere that you've been 1,000 times and you don't even remember how you got there, you've been in a meditative state. So a lot of people think meditation is sit, close your eyes, right? Sit in this particular posture. It's not particularly that. Yes, that is what it's most commonly known as, but we can enter a meditative state when we're running, when we're walking, swimming, washing dishes. So laying down. However, if we go to sleep, we're going into a different state than meditation. Yes, there's a sort of meditation that happens there. As a matter of fact, one of the tools that I have is a sleep-based meditation where you don't go to sleep, but you put your body into that position to receive the meditation, because it allows you, when we sleep, it's easiest for us to detach from our senses, right? We all know how to go to sleep. So it's the meditation that everybody can do, because everybody knows how to go to sleep. And you just lay in that comfortable position and listen. And the meditation will take you through those stages that take you into the deeper brainwave states that allow you to disconnect from the physical body, right? Disconnect from the sensory body, go into the energy body, which is where that intuition lives. And again, it's bringing attention into the center of the eyebrow, right? Into the pineal gland, and just being alert to it, being aware to it, and not in a hyper-vigilant way, more in the observation way. So a lot of people that are eager for this are too eager for it, and they stop their own flow of information. It's kind of like how you would watch a TV show that you've watched too many times, right? Back in the day of watching TV, when you would just go and veg out, it's kind of that way where you just go and be the observer. You don't have a hunger or desire for it, because that actually can compress it down. So that relaxed, neutral state of observation, and then just observing, going inward there. You can even breathe as if you were breathing through the third eye, and just again, holding alignment, whether that's laying down, sitting up, so straight spine, relaxed body, and relax into it. So again, I think people try too hard. Most people who are looking to be intuitive don't know what that is. They're super eager, and that excitement clogs the information. It squeezes it. You can't get that true information, and kind of the energy of daydreaming. It's just super relaxed to allow it. And the mind, the voice will want to chatter, especially if you're going to focus into your energy centers, throat center. If you focus here, a lot of noise will generally happen there because we make a lot of noise out of this energy center in our body. So here it's where we concentrate, right? The mind, where we concentrate. So this is where we're typically in the observation, in the learning, in the awareness, right? Vision comes here. So this is the internal vision, that third eye. And it is to begin to open up to that information. And all mammals have this. The dolphins, the whales, this is how they navigate across the oceans, is with this pineal gland. Humans are mammals too. We have it. We all have it. And many people culturally or religion has taught that this is not a good thing. It's part of our natural system, just like we breathe. So we really all do have access here. And it does take a bit of attention. Paying attention to it is what increases it. And taking evidence of the information that you get and seeing it unfold. This is how you know the intuition is, how you're on point with it, is it will evidence itself out in your life or the people that you would connect with. Sly.
You said something very interesting. You used the descriptive word saying it's a similar energy to daydreaming. And this is what we need. We need more words like this where it's descriptive, something more familiar to us, where we can apply it when practicing meditation. So,
Other descriptors would be, and it can be intense when you get into the information, when you're in your alignment, right? When you're feeling, and there is a sensory feeling to the alignment. And if people don't feel, there are a lot of people that don't feel their energy body because they've been so in their head that their head is like detached from their body. They don't have internal awareness yet. And it takes developing that. Again, children naturally have it. We naturally have it, but life and society, culture, domestication, education has taken us out of our natural sense perception, our natural system. So bringing nature is another great way to develop your sensory awareness again, to be with nature. Animals also are very in tune, generally speaking, especially wild animals. So to be even in the observation of them is going to help a person to begin to go inward with that. So, and it's just allowing yourself to close your eyes, which takes out all of the external stimulus, right? So closing the eyes naturally takes the energy in, and then closing the ears off to external sound and listening for internal sound, like the sound of your own breath.
Okay.
The sound of your pulse, your energy pulse, your blood pressure pulse. There is a difference. The pulse of the earth is the energy pulse. And our pulse is not necessarily aligned with that because, again, we get in these high beta brain waves, and the shamanic resonance is shifting so much right now, right? So, and a lot of people are oversensitive to this too. And part of that is because they're not in their alignment. They're distorted, they're outside of it. So they're having all kinds of symptoms. If we're in our alignment, we will have less of that symptomatic energy experience because of the high shamanic resonance that's going on now. And getting familiar with staying in your own alignment, right? Because that's home. That's home. Everything outside of that is visiting somewhere else.
Right.
So floating is another just very relaxed, helps you get into those meditative states. So to let go, let go of the thinking. That's the harder one to do because we like to think and we like to plan and we like to solve problems. This is what the mind does.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing that to settle down and really bringing it to just this moment. Right? Don't go yesterday, don't go tomorrow, just this moment, and be here and stay focused on this is what we're going to do. We're going to go inward and we're going to be quiet and we're going to listen and we're going to watch and we're going to feel. And there's information behind all of that information that's there, and then follow it like a curious child.
Right. So let me ask you this. How do we stop ourselves from sleeping when trying to meditate, from falling asleep?
So don't lay down, sit up.
Okay, I like that one. Go for a walk. Get run
up.
over.
Sit up with a straight spine so you can sit, make your spine straight, press down into your sits bones, extend up through the crown of the head, feel that stretch that naturally will come there, and then relax. And then request to your system that you stay present and aware to the information that's going to appear. And it may be quiet and still. And let me just say, when you get those meditations that it seems like nothing is happening, that's grounding happening. So again, it's like coming home and I'm finally here. So no information will happen potentially at first because you might just need to get grounded and still. And then the more you honor that, and a lot of people are not honoring that quiet stillness enough for their own health mentally, emotionally, physically. They don't honor that still quiet space within. And yeah, that leads to all kinds of distortions. But so initially, when you're starting to honor that, no information is coming, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just, you've got to be patient there. It's like, finally, you're here and you're going to listen. So your system's like, well, let me recuperate a bit. Let me get that stillness because you're finally giving it to me. And when I know that you're going to give me that stillness, then the information will pour through. Because initially, it's taking it for its own needs of rejuvenation.
Right.
That help?
Right. Yeah. So I want to ask you now, the other thing that I was thinking about that I would like to ask you is astral projection. What is your best advice for astral projection? Because I've tried so many times and I've never, ever been successful. It's, I'm heartbroken. What do we do?
So
I always fall asleep.
Yeah. So I'll encourage you to get more into a reclined position rather than a laying position.
Right.
Right. And if you're falling asleep, it's because you're not giving your system enough of its own required rest and relaxation, its own required stillness. So we need our internal time beyond just sleep. We need to just sit in our own silence and feel that. And so this is the first clue that I'm hearing with what you're saying is you're not giving yourself enough of that quiet time, that silence time to just be, because you have to get very calm and secure there before you'll astral project. And my sense is you're already astral projecting in your dream state, in your sleep state, you just don't know it. So listening more to your system, giving more of that nourishment of quiet and stillness and just being state, right? Not doing anything, just breathing, just holding stillness, not even observing. So just sitting still with your eyes closed in a quiet and quieting the mind, right? Because then as soon as you go there, the mind's going to say, you should be doing 100 million things. And what about this? And what about that? So that's kind of like a barking dog and a yippy little dog. And you just got to let that yippy little dog do its thing. And, the monkey mind, as they say, and listen less, right? It's like the runaway train, let it keep running. And the less you listen, the quieter it'll become. And depending on what's going on in life, it could be very active.
So let's say, for example, you want to astral project. What is your attention focused on? Because you have to stay, awake and you're consciously, and you want your body to fall asleep. So do you focus on where you want to travel, or what you want to see? What do you focus on?
Well, I would focus on what you want to connect with.
What if you just want to experiment and you just want to say, well, I'm just going to focus on exiting my body just so I can see it, and then I'm happy for that session. Step by step. What do you think about that?
So this is very similar. So detaching the energy body from the physical body. And so, yes, this is that sleep-based meditation that I was talking to you about. This is one of the processes of that. So it's just allowing the brainwave to go calmer and calmer, quieter and quieter, gets slower and slower. So it's bringing yourself down and choosing to stay conscious. And again, if you're not giving yourself enough stillness, you won't be able to do this.
Stillness.
Yes, giving yourself that quiet time with yourself, giving yourself presence and not checking out, right? So if you're falling asleep, it's because your system needs that sleep. And it's not because of the brainwave, it goes from the beta to the theta to the beta to the alpha to the theta to the delta to the gamma. And you've got to allow it to go through those processes. And a lot of people, sleep apnea is one of those illnesses that people have because they're going straight from beta to delta. They're never going through their alpha and their theta, are barely going through them. So they're not getting that integrative. It's the theta is where we pick up the third eye. It's where we start to do all of that work. And to hit into that theta level, that's where the REM sleep happens.
Theta.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. What kind of frequencies should someone listen to when trying to astral project?
So I'm going to say none. And there's also the inquisition of why go out? Why not go in?
I see what you mean.
Because out there is the wild, wild world, the wild, wild universe. And you could run into stuff that you don't know how to address that can really muck you up. Going inward, you can't mess up.
Right.
And there's a whole universe within waiting to be explored.
Wow. Absolutely. Because I think, we can find all the answers within us, our past lives, where we're going in the future, our intuition, who we are, past life memories. This is what I'm fascinated with. God, inside of us. God is within us, so we have to meditate to go within. And we've been taught religions. By the way, Jesus wasn't religious, but we've been taught all of these religions to control and divide us. And it's very important to go within.
It's interesting. They don't talk too much about the missing years of Jesus from his teens till the 13 to 30s, right?
You mean the gap that adds up to number 17?
That would be it. That would be it. His journey was to go across India and meet the yogis, and they actually taught him how to explore his internal conversations.
Right.
How to go into those energy centers. And it is said that he went to all the temples where he had to go into the temples within the body, the energy centers of the body, third eye being one of them. And the temple between the ego and the heart was the most difficult temple because it went from, he had to dive into the pool of alligators in that third chakra, third temple, and swim up into find the tiny tunnel in the bottom of the pool of alligators and swim the journey up to the heart, and came into the heart temple, which is very beautiful and pure love. So it was he was learning from the yogis how to have this internal conversation, was what was happening in those missing years. And there is documentation on that. I don't have reference to it anymore. And I can tell you that has been my own personal journey to go into all of the internal temples. The chakra system is how people more commonly would know that, and explore that conversation.
Right.
There's the library of light in each one of those chakra, which is wheel of light, is infinite in its nature. And we've been taught, go out, go out, go out, information out here, everything out here. How many people have really taken the discipline of the discipling of going inward and listening to those internal conversations, especially the internal conversation of the heart, which is where the one that is connected to all. It is the infinite heart center that we all connect through, and we all can connect through if we choose. And, how do you learn to live open-hearted in this crazy world that we're living in? And it takes a relationship with your own heart to clean up and clear any of the challenges that you still hold into, this shouldn't have happened, or those feelings that can get there based on information that hasn't been clear. A lot of people have suppressed their own emotion because they haven't done their internal work. Mm-hmm. So this is the internal conversation that I'm speaking of.
Absolutely. Well, Sonya, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on as always. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Come Wednesday night, I'll take you into the internal conversation, soulform.com. That first link, yes, I'm ready to shine from my soul. And that's what I do every Wednesday night is I help people for free, I help people to develop this internal conversation. Because when we're connected and when we're aligned there, we will have a different world. This world that we're all looking to experience will show up because we won't allow the external world to control us anymore.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Sonya. And we'll speak again in 2 weeks' time. God bless you.
God bless.